I'm Roby Brock. Welcome to this edition of Talk Business and Politics. On this week's agenda, Stacy Hurst, Secretary of the Arkansas Department of Parks, Heritage, and Tourism, discusses the legislative session, businesses reopening, and a new purpose for War Memorial Stadium. James Russ Russell, Democratic candidate for governor, discusses his first foray into statewide politics and how he's being received in his bid for the state's top spot. Doyle Webb, GOP candidate for lieutenant governor, explains why he's entered the race and what agenda he plans to pursue. These interviews are all coming your way. I'm Roby Brock. Stick around for the next half hour. We'll talk business, politics, and much more.
This is Talk Business and Politics with Roby Brock.
And welcome to the program. We appreciate you joining us. For a little over the last year, the Arkansas tourism and hospitality industry has been pounded by the COVID-19 pandemic, but things are starting to open up a little bit more now. Stacy Hurst, Secretary of the Arkansas Department of Parks, Heritage, and Tourism, and I sat down for a conversation. Big announcement a little over a week ago about the National Junior College Association coming to War Memorial Stadium for its championship football games for the next 3 years. Tell me a little bit about how that deal came together and what your expectations are for that.
They approached the LRCVB about putting in a bid for this championship, and the LRCVB reached out to us, to our team here at Arkansas State Parks and Parks, Heritage, and Tourism. And it was a process, but we put together a really good package. I think we can demonstrate that we have good partnerships here in Little Rock and in Arkansas, and that we would come to it in a very collaborative and positive way. And when they came to visit here, Roby, they were just blown away. I think they enjoyed Little Rock. They saw the benefit of the partnerships that we enjoy here. And so we're thrilled. We are thrilled that we landed it and look forward to a 3-year engagement.
There'll be some good economic impact for the Central Arkansas area as a result of that, I presume. So let's talk a little bit about businesses opening back up. We are not quite to herd immunity yet. The governor has outlined a goal of trying to get to 50% of those being at least vaccinated one time. There's probably some people in the mix there that have had COVID and recovered from it. So those numbers could obviously be different. But all of that to say, when I go out now, depends on where I am in the state. I just seem to see a lot of bustling activity. Do you think the state is open 100% for business now?
I wouldn't say 100%, but I would say we're getting pretty close. I have had the same impression as I've traveled the state of Arkansas. There seems to be a real eagerness to be back to normal life. And so, in fact, I was up in Ball Knob at the Bulldog, and of course, the place was absolutely full. People were not masked, but it was a very bustling environment there. And so I think that we are pretty close to full capacity again. I will tell you, Roby, as we've looked at our state parks visitation, our lodges, our campsites, our cabins are very full. And so I think people are really eager to get back to normal.
Speaking of your cabins, this legislative session, there were quite a few bills that dealt with the state park system. And I know you guys had an agenda of some things to get done and were fairly successful with some of it. Tell me a little bit about what you would view as some of the positive accomplishments from this legislative session in terms of your agency and the things that you have oversight over.
We had 6 bills that we were trying to get done as a department, and we were very excited to get all of those done. I would say the 3 that we are most excited about, because we think they could be transformational for our work. The first one was we were able to work with Senator Dismang and Representative Johnson, and they sponsored legislation that gives us the ability to do dynamic pricing within our state parks. And so we now have the authority to increase prices by 20%, but we can also decrease prices by 50%. So we really think that's going to be a real game changer for us, that we can reduce prices, offer a sale during our times that are really slow and fill up some of our cabins and campsites. So it will really help us generate some revenue. And of course, we all know that's how the private sector operates. And so I think that'll give us a real boost. Another bill that we're very excited about, again, Senator Dismang was a lead on this, as well as Representative Jett. We were able to increase the historic tax credit in the state by $4 million. It's been at $4 million, I believe, since 2009. This session, we were able to get it increased to $8 million, and that's the overall cap. So we've got a backlog of projects in historic preservation. So this will allow us to loosen that backlog up and really allow some really great projects to happen across the state of Arkansas.
All right. Yeah, good things there for sure. There was obviously, too, there was a lot of talk about Arkansas's image, which is something that you have the responsibility of managing on a regular basis and helping recruit with. But some of the negative headlines that were generated out of this legislative session, nationally negative headlines as well as in state. Do you think that this is, are you feeling it impacting Arkansas right now when you're talking to people across the country and they're looking to Arkansas? Is this hampering us at this point?
We're getting some emails from individuals mainly, and we just respond that Arkansas is a very welcoming state. We're known for our hospitality. I mentioned a third bill that we were really excited about, and that one was about it creates a trust fund to provide big grants to cultural institutions. So that's another really great thing about the state of Arkansas that's happening in all corners of the state. We're developing new museums, new art centers. So we've got a lot of great product in the state of Arkansas. I was just at the opening of Oaklawn for their event and hotel, and it's wonderful. So I think with our outdoor opportunities in the state of Arkansas, the way that we have marketed that so well during the pandemic, people have really discovered Arkansas. Mountain biking, we're becoming a mountain biking mecca for the country. I think all of these things are adding up to become we're just a really attractive place to visit. So I think we'll continue to get, some emails and some questions, but I think we'll continue to be a really strong option for people who want to travel.
Where would you see it show up if there is a negative backlash towards Arkansas? Would you have diminished, sales tax collections, tourism tax collections? Would you see a number of big events perhaps pull out or not come to Arkansas? How will you know if it's affecting you negatively?
What happened in North Carolina with the bathroom bill that they passed and then repealed, it impacted large events, conventions, sporting events. And so that typically hurts the big cities, the convention centers, the larger cities, I'll say. And so that's where it would be. We haven't, for example, with the junior college championship, it was not an issue there. But that's where, of course, we would worry. Mm-hmm. If we've got a mountain biking or a cycling championship up in Northwest Arkansas that's planned, there was some conversation about that, but that seems to have dissipated. So those are the sorts of events that we would worry about.